Calaroga Shark Media.
Hi there, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. If you're a parent and you're listening with children for some reason, why don't you hit stop? There's some news in the second story. I don't want to ruin Christmas for everybody, okay? So hit stop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. Dave Chappelle's Edmonton show was interrupted by hecklers. There's Dave. He's on stage at Rogers Place Wednesday night. The Edmonton Journal reports many in attendance took to social media after the show to complain about the behavior of others in the crowd. Some posts on social media, one said, Edmonton needs to learn how to watch a comedy show. The hecklers and yellers just wrecked everybody's night out. Another wrote, Edmonton outright embarrassed themselves tonight in front of comedy royalty. Feel so bad for Dave Chappelle. Sound quality was terrible, and it had to have been pushing 30 degrees in there by showtime. I believe they are talking Celsius there, and it was hot in the arena. Dozy wrote, great comedy. The rest was the worst show experience of my life. Troy wrote, the first 3 acts of Dave Chappelle in Edmonton were loud and boisterous, but I didn't even know WTF happened halfway through Dave's set. But even sitting in row 1 in section 118, it was hard to hear him, and the crowd behind me let him know. It sure sounded like a tech issue because it went loud to quiet. One more, Dave comes here, and the crowd couldn't keep quiet. Constant yelling, garbage comments, and loudmouths who ruined the show for everyone. Chappelle deserved better. Sorry, Dave Chappelle. Matt Rife is catching some grief. All right, parents, you turn this off. Last warning here, okay? Matt Rife, often in controversies. I think this one is not Matt Rife's fault. Folks are complaining that when they open up the Netflix app, it starts playing an auto preview of Matt Rife's Christmas special, okay? You know, maybe you don't like Matt Rife and that annoys you. Oh, no. The issue is he makes a joke about Santa Claus possibly perhaps not being real, which, of course, we all know Santa is real. I did tell you to hit stop. Matt made a joke. That changes everything when you find out your parents are Santa Claus, which of course they are not. Social media is flush with comments, says TMZ, from upset parents who are ripping Matt and Netflix for ruining Christmas over their kids. I seriously doubt Matt Rife has any say whatsoever on what autoplays when you open up the Netflix app. That is on Netflix. One parent wrote, thanks for ruining his childhood. Ouch. Anyway, the Matt Rife special, I know people love to hate on Matt Rife. I'll tell you what, it's the 3rd best special of the year. Kevin Hart's is slightly funnier, but Matt Rife's special, and I may flip my order here, Matt Rife's special is really, really funny. Now, if you're uptight and you can't joke amongst friends about we all come from different backgrounds, if that sort of material upsets you, you're going to cancel me. But as a guy sitting on the couch, I found it funny. The people in the audience found it funny. High recommend on Matt Rife's Netflix special. Matt got the wax job from The Hollywood Reporter. Matt said, crowd work is always so much fun. It's why I continue to do it. Personally, the funny stigma about me is I just do crowd work. I took a tour around the world and do 20,000-seat arenas. It would be impossible for me to do that night after night. If I'm on stage for an hour and 15 minutes, maybe 10 of those minutes are crowd work. Because it's fun and spontaneous to try and navigate. It's a new experience for every single show, and that's what makes the night exciting. He does open up, I clocked it. He does 6 minutes of non-crowd work at the start of this crowd work special, and that 6 minutes is tight. It's funny. Matt explained, I was supposed to film my newest material special about 2 or 3 months ago. I don't know why, but the thought of Christmas got stuck in my head. Maybe it was a yearning for my favorite holiday, and I just thought, you know what I mean? It would be really fun to do a seasonal or holiday-based theme for my next crowd work special. It's a skill set that I'm blessed to have. I can kind of do it anywhere at any time, so why not hone in on this specific topic? I didn't feel a rush to put out a new material special because I'm in the middle of a tour right now, and the show's only going to get better the longer I work on it. So we went for a seasonal special for my favorite holiday. As for that next special, I'm aiming to shoot it early summer next year. I'm still trying to pick where I want to do it exactly, and that'll help determine when, but I would like the material special to be out by next August or sometime around then. I don't want to wait too long. Almost every comedian will tell you as soon as you film a special, if you continue to do that material for a couple weeks, you'll always find extra things that make you go, rats, if I had only waited a little bit longer. A lot of Netflix today. Netflix put out a first look at Free Bert, the upcoming 6-episode scripted comedy series starring Bert Kreischer finds himself in uncharted territory when his daughters are accepted to an elite Beverly Hills private school. When Bert Kreischer's unbridled antics turn his family into outcasts, he decides to put on a shirt and stifle his true nature to better fit in. I don't know. I want to say it doesn't sound bad, but that might actually sound bad. I like Bert a lot, but I could see this being really hacky, cheesy, and almost being like something Kevin James should star in, but we'll see. I'm expecting today for Billboard to release the rest of their top 25 comedians of the 21st century so far. Now, the reason I'm not sure is they said they would release it on Friday, December 6th. There is no such date this year, but I'm guessing it would be weird to put it out on a Saturday, so probably out today. They have released 25 through 16. I have commented on that, so if you'd like to hear my comments now, I have released it as a bonus episode for the paid subscribers. For everyone else, I have recorded it and scheduled it for the December 28th issue. Let's be frank, Johnny Mac wants to hang out on Christmas, so it was a real easy thing for me to record. And as soon as they release 15 through 1, I will record the December 29th episode and also release that early as a bonus episode. So Johnny Mac, how do I get these bonus episodes? Okay, here's what you do. You become a premium subscriber to the show. How do I do that? I open up the Apple Podcasts app. There's a banner. It says uninterrupted listening. You click that, and then for $5 a month, you get this show without commercials, and you can access the bonus episodes. And you get other things on the network ad-free, including 5 Good News Stories, which I host, and 5 Daily Trivia Questions is pretty popular, so you can access all that. And if you're like, hey, Johnny Mac, you're just trying to hit us up for $5, take the free trial. It's a 30-day free trial. It's on you to remember to cancel it, otherwise I'm going to get $5. But if you want to hear that episode now, sign up, listen to it, wait for me to drop the other one, and then cancel it. No problem. I can't speak today. You guys are not going to hear all the edits that I'm going to wind up making, but boy, I can't speak. I think my brain is broken. I was at trivia the other night. I think it was personally, just for me, not my team, just me, my worst trivia outing. I sat there one round. I didn't know the answer to one of the 8 questions, and they were multiple choice questions, and I was like, I have no idea, and that doesn't happen. Also, I wasn't drinking. I'm not a big drinker. If you hang around me, you'll hear me say 2 beers, not 8. So usually at trivia, I'll have 1 beer, sometimes 2. But this week, Johnny Mac needs to lose weight. And as I've been joking with the family, I need to lose, by the time you're hearing this, I have about 3 hours left before my physical to lose 25 pounds. So I was like, I'm not going to drink, and I'm not going to get the Wednesday night cheesesteak with the guys. So I just sat there and drank my water. Is my brain superpowered by brewery beer? Because I knew nothing. And I can't speak today. And the boiler's not working again today. It's no joke, 58 degrees in my house. I may have to actually use the fireplace as a fireplace. It's that cold. Maybe that's why my brain's not working. I quite digress. Where were we? Roy Wood Jr. is getting a holiday special. It is titled A CNN Special Event, Roy Wood Jr.'s Very, Very, Very Merry Holiday Special. This will be on CNN Sunday, December 14th at 8 p.m. I'll be watching football. You'll be claiming that Bob's Burgers is on, which it's not. I'm not going there today. The special, hosted by Roy Wood Jr., will be from Washington, D.C. He'll be joined by surprise guests from across comedy and music, as well as the U.S. Air Force Band. Now, I've been doing this for a while. If they're saying surprise guests, it means this show's not booked yet. They think they know who's coming, but they're not confident enough to put it in a press release. Very interesting. Can't kid a kidder. Been doing this a minute, CNN. You don't have anyone booked. Roy Wood Jr. said, I was hoping the White House ballroom would be done by then for us to shoot the special, but I'm understanding construction's a little behind. Nonetheless, I'm excited to celebrate the holidays while honoring our troops and our government workers, and also having an opportunity to re-wear my nice green jacket from the Peabody Awards, but this time with a little red in it. David Letterman, he'll be on Jimmy Kimmel Live Tuesday, December 9th. It'll be Letterman's 7th appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, his first since March 2023. Boy, I hope they find something to talk about. I've been texting on the side with Mike from the still-titled Letterman podcast. We may jump in the studio. I have to watch the Sandler Letterman thing, and then this Kimmel thing will give us a lot of Letterman to talk about, so that could happen next week. Johnny Mac likes a good fight. Now, is this one real? Is this a put-on? /film says Tim Heidecker hates Kyle Mooney. At least, that's the impression you would get if you watch any of the pair's recent interactions, which have been so awkward and tense that many fans are wondering just what Mooney has done to stoke the ire of Tim Heidecker. They wonder, are we witnessing one of the best long-running bits of the last few decades? Or perhaps not. On November 21st, Kyle Mooney posted a video for his new song, Mrs. Claus is Getting Down. Tim Heidecker commented, corny as hell. Back in 2023... Kyle Mooney was on the Office Hours live podcast, and Tim Heidecker mocked him for 2 hours. Afterward, Tim spoke about people contacting him to ask what was going on. Apparently, Michael Showalter reached out and was like, is everything cool here? Then on Kyle Mooney and Beck Bennett's podcast, the terribly named What's Our Podcast, Tim again belittled Kyle Mooney, suggesting that he and Beck Bennett create a new podcast interrogating why they haven't become huge stars in the wake of SNL. Fans said they were bummed out by Tim's appearance, thinking it was too real. Is this real, or is it Kaufman-esque? Who knows? I have to go to a wedding tonight otherwise, and I'm not doing a bit. I really do have to go to a wedding tonight, and for real otherwise, I would be watching Netflix tonight. It is the debut of Jay Kelly. Now, this isn't really a comedy item, so, forgive me for straying into drama, but the great dramatic actor Adam Sandler, who we talk about a lot on this program, he is in this and apparently really good. How could he not be? He is a great dramatic actor, and he's not doing comedy here, which is what Adam Sandler should be doing with his time on the planet, acting and never doing comedy. Sandler and George Clooney, who I'm often confused for, especially now that I'm dieting. People all the time are like, are you George Clooney? Why do you have Adam Sandler in your movie? And I'm like, A, he's a great dramatic actor, and B, no, I'm not George Clooney. The real George Clooney and Adam Sandler did a roundtable with the New York Times. Clooney asked Adam, how many auditions did you go on before you got a gig? Sandler said, over and over, never got hired, but it never got in my way. Clooney said, it did not deter you. Sandler, because I was young, I was like, all right, keep going, go until it happens. Clooney explained, for most people, that first no is devastating. The difference in what we do for a living is that the goods that you're selling is you. So when they say no thank you, it's personal. You have to be tough-skinned enough to say I'm going back in there. Clooney was curious, when did people start to know Adam Sandler by name? He said probably the third season of SNL. When you start, you're just one of the guys on the show. Then all of a sudden they say your name and you get excited. Sandler talked about being recognized in public and said, sometimes you feel like you're supposed to react a certain way in public because of who you're perceived as being. So if I have a moment of not handling something right, it's an extra long look of what the hell happened? I didn't think Adam would behave that way. Right. Like if I met him and he was funny, I'd be like, whoa, Adam Sandler's funny? No way. That would throw me. Got a lot of news today. I'll just check the clock. We're going long here. But I want to tell you about Cat Williams. He was on Michelle Obama's podcast. Yeah. Cat told a story about stepping into parenthood when his son's mother, who lived in another state, faced an addiction crisis. Her children landed in an orphanage. Cat Williams thought he had no connection to the kids, but he said, they're the siblings of my son. I did all the research, and I knew that it takes $1 million to raise a child. He adopted 10 children. He said, am I going to have $10 million, take care of 10 kids? Fine, let's do it. I'm in. Let's go. Sounds like that was pretty interesting. Leanne Morgan was on Theo Von's podcast. Leanne Morgan talked about meeting Morgan Wallen, the country superstar. Early in his career, they did some sort of local charity event. Leanne Morgan told Theo, Morgan Wallen and I did a show together when he got kicked off The Voice. He had mowing equipment. We both got asked to do a charity thing. I think they paid us $200. If they paid us anything, I can't remember. And he sang, and we were in the back, and I promised him a casserole because I thought he was so sweet and darling. And he goes, I'm going to try and make it in country music. And I thought, how's that going to go? Not that I didn't think he was talented. We also learned that Morgan Wallen had taken Leanne Morgan's daughter, Maggie, so Maggie Morgan, on a date several years ago. But Maggie Morgan realized she wasn't Morgan Wallen's type. A lot of Morgans in this. Is very confusing. Leanne Morgan says he was into wild girls that like to key cars and fight in the yard. Now, he did take Maggie on a couple dates, but she said, I think he likes wild girls that like to key cars. And you see, my children went to a Christian school and were told not to. But she said she thought he was darling, and she said this was a long time ago before he hit it big. He liked girls that like to fight in the yard, and that's okay. There's pretty girls in Powell. They were all from Powell, Tennessee, and he was a baseball player and mowed. I get it.
Comedy stock market.
Thank you, Burt Reynolds. I've only got 3 picks for you this week on the comedy stock market. Let's buy some Matt Rife. I'm a couple things here. This new special is very, very funny. And I remembered I really liked his previous special. I went back and looked, and I had that on my best of, I think it was 2023 list. And as I'm putting together the top comedians of the 21st century, my version, I might put Matt Rife on it. I know right now some of you are throwing your sneaker at the wall going, Matt Rife, he's not funny. But he's funny. And people like him. Maybe he makes the list. I haven't worked on the list yet, but he's in consideration. Actually, at trivia the other night, a friend of mine said, have you heard of Ralphie May? And I took out my phone because I love doing this, and I showed him Ralphie May's contact from back when Ralphie was alive. And I'm like, sure. And then it made me realize, oh, Ralphie should be on this list as well. He was fantastic. All right, so let's buy some Matt Rife. Let's sell some David Letterman. Dave, you got to start throwing watermelons off towers. You've lost your way. Let's make 1230 great again. So we'll sell David Letterman. And a little more seriously, let's sell our Amy Schumer stock if we even have any. I'm just looking at what was going on this week on Gossip Corner, and I just don't have a good feeling about any of it, starting with the Instagram. Like I'm happy that you're feeling healthy and you're feeling good about yourself, of course, but there just seems to be, I don't know, why are you doing this in the press? Why are you doing this on social media? What is going on? I just have a really, really icky feeling every time Amy Schumer comes up in the news right now. So we're going to buy Rife, sell Letterman. I can't believe I'm saying that phrase. And we will sell Amy Schumer on the comedy stock market. Prince Harry was on Stephen Colbert's Late Show on Wednesday night. Harry mocked the President of the United States, claiming America had elected a king. That got some friendly boos from the audience. They were apparently booing President Trump and not booing Prince Harry. By the way, if you want some real comedy, here's what you do. Go to Google, click the news tab, and Google the phrase Meghan Markle holiday special and read the British tabloid coverage of it. Oh my goodness, hilarious. We've been covering that on Palace Intrigue. That's the podcast about the royal family that I'm the writer on. They destroyed her, and it was the funniest stuff I read all week. During some jokes described as awkward, Prince Harry criticized CBS for settling a baseless lawsuit and claims that we're obsessed with royalty. I actually forgot. I had pulled the audio. Here, let's listen to some of it.
You Americans are obsessed with Christmas movies, and you're clearly obsessed with royalty, so why not?
Hold on. Look, I wouldn't say we're obsessed with royalty.
Really? I heard you elected a king.
That's a fair point. No, he's got a point.
Rolling Stone reported that last weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, Jon Stewart was on the drums again. Jon is in a band called Church and State. Apparently, Stewart was on the drums at the Stone Pony in Asbury Park, New Jersey. A great place if you've never been. If you ever make it that way, absolutely walk in. Tracy Morgan presented his annual Nursing Excellence Award to Gilbert Recto, an assistant nurse manager at the Brain Trauma Unit at Hackensack Meridian JFK Johnson Rehabilitation Institute. I'm sure it's a great place. I think we could shorten that name a little bit. Tracy Morgan said, "This is for you, my friend. Continue to do the work you do." You may recall several years back, Tracy Morgan spent several weeks recovering at that same facility after a pretty bad car crash. Wow, that was back in 2014. That is a long time ago. Tracy said the truck was doing 75 miles an hour when it hit me. I thank the Lord for people in my life that helped me. I could stay with them all day. And congratulations to Vlad Illitch. Vlad is the British Comedian of the Year. Originally from Macedonia, Vlad became a British citizen earlier this year and won the live final night at the Comedy Store in London. The British Comedian of the Year contest is open to comedians of all levels. It has one of the biggest prizes in comedy, 10,001 British pounds. That is 1 British pound more than the Edinburgh Comedy Awards main prize. Congratulations to Vlad Illitch. All right, the plan for the weekend. Tomorrow, normal episode. Sunday, I'm going to start off looking at Vulture's top 25 comedy specials of the year. I haven't looked at it yet, but I want to look at it to see if I have forgotten any to put on my list. My list will be published in the feed on Saturday, December 13th, going a little early this year because my publicist wants to get the list out there and help publicize the show. So I have to look at the greater good, and it makes more sense to put that out a little early, so maybe we can get some press pickup rather than putting that out December 30th or so. But once we get on the other side of Christmas, I've got some list episodes, the 28th and the 29th. Will be Johnny Mac commenting on Billboard's list of the top 25 of the century so far, and then I'm going to rip that off and share my own with you. So we got plenty to talk about, and that is your comedy news for today. I'll see you tomorrow.